say good morning to Keith.
Morning, Keith.
Morning.
I was commenting.
Literally seems like being back in class. It's so funny.
Commenting about you because we were both backstage at the CMAs, and everybody was just trying to get a second with you. You're, the belle of the ball when you do something like this, and rightfully so. Former entertainer of the year. I think you have 13 or 14 CMAs. So you're there, and I don't want to bother you. Although I do love you personally, and feel like if we were at a restaurant, I would stop and talk and sit and talk. Yeah. Like I feel like we have that relationship.
Totally.
But I want to, as a professional,
you've been to my house many times.
Absolutely.
Bobby.
But it's a professional thing. I'm like, hey Keith, good to see you. And you had the wherewithal to go, hey, I'm coming up to do your show. And I'm like, how in the world did he remember that in the middle of all of these like way more important people? Do you prioritize being a kind person, or is that just like intrinsically inside of you?
I think it's more about being in the moment.
But I mean, it wasn't even like you saw me and thought you were like, hey, I'm going to come do your show. I was like, how are you thinking about that right now whenever you have all of this going on? Are you that in love with me? Be honest.
I am.
Is that what it is? You're just so excited. Okay.
I am.
I can accept that.
I am.
I was
looking for you everywhere.
I was really speaking to how like genuine.
I actually have a countdown a clock on my wall for when I was coming in here this morning. It's been up there for weeks, Bobby.
So it was just ready then.
It's just counting down.
Well, I was commenting to the guys like just how like.
Thank you for sending me the clock, by the way.
Okay. It's my face and it counts down to me. But I do. You're like the best. You're the best. And I don't know how you do it, but you're consistently generous and kind with your emotions and just an understanding of where you are. So not like asking a question, but I just want to
honestly
recognize
that. It's genuinely grateful for where I am and what I get to do, genuinely, which has come from contrasts of the complete opposite of that.
Where you weren't grateful?
Where I wasn't in a healthy place in my life. And I've been playing music since I was, 7 years old on stages and playing in clubs since I was 12, 13. It's all I've ever done. And at some point, especially coming to Nashville early on and just like hitting brick wall after brick wall, it was really, really tough. And that was years and years of just constant rejection and just a dark place in my life. So coming through that and getting to where I am today is why I'm so grateful for it.
Was there a person, and was it Nicole, that has been, who's, I don't know, motivated and inspired you, like been your main advisor on hey, positivity, like search that out?
She's very good with that. Yeah, she's very good at trying to just be a bit more. I mean, we can both fall into that negativity trap, but she's very good at moving past it.
If I'm not feeling creative, or if I'm tired and I really have to, if I have a show coming up and I got to think of some stuff, I take a shower. Like that's my place to go where I can really think. Do you have a place like that, or do you have even a place that you go that is like a vacation spot where it's like I just need to recharge and I'm tired, I'm creatively exhausted? And where do you go? What do you do?
The beach does that for me.
Does it matter which one?
Nope. I just love being in the salt water. It's unbelievably healing.
Do you swim in the ocean?
Yeah. And I don't care if it's freezing cold or hot. It doesn't matter.
You'll get in the cold ocean. I assume. Now, I never had an affinity for the beach, but I grew up in a landlocked state in Arkansas. I never had it. We never went on vacation, so I didn't know the beach at all until I got older. But you growing up where there was a lot of water, do you think that's what it is? Does it remind you of a happier time when you were a child, maybe?
Probably. I mean, it's just cathartic for me being in the ocean anywhere.
I don't know. I guess there's just all those stinging things in the salt. It's just so foreign to me. Do you ever wonder what's way down there? Because we look up for aliens, but we can't get to the bottom of the ocean.
See, you've been watching Ancient Aliens, haven't you? Because they live under the water.
We literally have no idea what's under there. Nope, we can go up further than we can go down.
I know, it's crazy, right? That's a whole show unto itself right now.
I could do it right. I mean, you and I could do the show about aliens underwater. Yeah, me too. I'm fascinated by me thinking about this. Yeah. Because I'm probably wrong.
You have a room full of aliens right here. You could ask them where do you guys all live? Is it underwater?
Is that alien language?
Yeah.
Hey, what's the difference? Because I know you're doing another residency at the Zappos Theater at Planet Hollywood.
Yeah.
What's the difference in a show like that and a show if you're touring around the country?
You can build stuff that you don't have to worry about packing up.
That's cool.
And putting in a truck every night.
Because it stays?
Yeah, because sometimes I come up with ideas for our shows and they're like, we can't put that in the venue. And I'm like, it won't fit in a truck, blah, blah, blah. So you don't have to worry about that.
Do you have to do a lot of creative for these shows? Because you're talking about building and putting things
Yeah.
out there. Is
Yeah.
it a different kind of creative?
Yeah, and always coming up with something different is challenging, because we've seen it all, and I'm always trying to think of some other thing, just some other thing that I haven't seen.
That's tough to think of things you haven't seen.
Yeah,
You ever think of a thing that that they're like, no, you can't. You just can't do that. Like you cannot do the huge inflatable butt crack.
that was one of the.
That's what I'm
others.
saying.
That was
Like
it.
you
That was
can't
the
walk
one.
in and out of it during the. I mean, you ever have an idea where like Keith, we can't do that?
Why would that be the first
I
thing
don't
you
know.
think of?
I don't
Bobby?
know.
It's
I was
it
wondering the
speaks
same thing.
volumes.
I know it
really,
does.
you know?
The
That's
Residency,
why you win.
Keith and the Inflatable Butt Crack starts Friday, March 3rd, 2023. There is no butt crack. 16 dates. I will say this about the show. It is more intimate in this theater because you're right on top of you.
Yeah,
And that sounds good too.
yeah. If you've just joined us,
Yes,
yeah,
but
okay.
you're much closer to the audience.
Yeah,
That-
but like I said, I grew up playing the clubs. Every gig to me is a club. Whether there's 5 people or 50,000, it's a club, and I play it like it's a club.
Tickets on sale, Ticketmaster.com/Keith Urban Vegas. All of our Vegas listeners or people traveling to Vegas, go to this show. It is excellent. Go see Keith if he's touring, but these shows specifically are really good because again, you're super close to Keith. It's very personal. We're gonna come back in 1 second. I do want to play your new song though, "The Street Called Maine."
Thank you.
Do you care if we play it?
Please.
What if he said no? He's like, nah.
Yeah, I'm
not
good.
that
Pass
one.
it. Yeah.
Not that one.
Hey, tell me about "Street Called Maine." Why did you record this one?
I realize when we get sent songs, and obviously I write a lot of songs, but when I hear a song, I realized the other day I'm hearing it the same way that your listeners hear it for the first time. It's the same thing. I didn't write it. I hit play, the song hits me, and I go, oh my God, I love this song. I love the melody, the lyric, the sentiment, everything about it.
Keith's got a residency in Vegas, March 3rd. It's a 16-date run. I hope you go. Ticketmaster.com/Keith Urban Vegas. You ever thought about doing a concept album of a completely different genre?
Some would say I've done that.
But for example, death metal,
Right.
hip hop, something that's so far removed
Yeah.
from your influences, which I say you've successfully brought influences into country music that other people now use and is normal. I think
Right.
that's hopefully that's a compliment to you. You ever thought about doing a crazy concept album? Because you're inspired by
Not really a concept. I'm always curious about what you said though, taking a genre and seeing if there's a way I can fuse that into what I do. Because I mean, it's still got to resonate with a through line, a flow that feels right. Otherwise, it's just gratuitous and it doesn't work. You know.
I was talking to Breland a couple times. Breland and I are pretty good buddies now.
Yeah.
And he says really
How smart is that guy? Off the
I have to
charts.
sit up straight and tall when I talk
Yeah,
to him because
yeah.
I got to be ready.
Yeah, he's super sharp.
And he's not pressing me but just talking to him, he is so bright
Yeah.
that it feels like he's challenging you, but he's being normal.
Uh-huh.
When you write, you reach out to him. Why would you reach out to Breland for the first time to go, hey man, I'd like to write with you? Like, what did you hear about him? What did you hear from
I
him?
read an interview with him, and the way he spoke in the interview, the way he saw music and putting things together and fusing and so forth, I went, that's a guy that speaks my language.
When a new artist comes in to write with you, do you have the understanding that they're probably pretty nervous to write with you because of your success?
I don't think about that. I'm always like, gosh, I hope I show up today. You know what I mean?
You're still putting it on you after all these years and all the
well,
success.
I mean, because writing's, it's so mysterious. You know, you have it with the show, right? You show up and you go like, you're just firing on all cylinders and things are like just flowing. And then another day, you just can barely get things going. And when you're writing with anybody, you want to have a day where the flow shows up.
What about a live show where that's happening? Because again, like you said, if you do things at a high level enough times, sometimes you're not going to be at that level, just natural human.
Yeah.
What if you're having a down day and you've got to do a show? Because I know it's so important to you to give the audience what they came to see. How are you propelling yourself to that spot to give them the best show, even if you're not feeling it?
I think there's got to be just an in the moment thing where whatever it takes. And I always think, first of all, it's awareness that I'm not firing on all cylinders right now. And then, okay, why not? I tell you what stays with me. When I was in my cover band, we played a show, and it was a small gig, a few hundred people at this bar that we were playing. I came off stage, and I said to my drummer, man, that audience was just crap. Were they just the crappiest audience? And he looked right at me, he goes, you ever think it might have been you? And then he just walked off. And I was like, wait, what?
Oh.
What? Me? What? You know? And I was like, damn, he was right. It was me. It wasn't them. And I can't tell you how much that stays with me when I want to go to that place in a gig.
Whenever you're playing a show, and if you're talking about the crowd, or it could be you, when do you get to enjoy a show? When's the last time you went to a show and got to actually enjoy it being someone who's watching?
Oh gosh, we went and saw Harry Styles in Paris. We were over there at the time.
In Paris?
Yeah,
Wow.
which was amazing to see him there. I think the last one that really hit me was the 1975, who played here at the Ascend Amphitheater maybe a year or two ago.
What about, because we listened to them too, what about 1975 do you like?
The spirit of that band. They got a spirit, and it's in their audience too, and you just go and just sort of immerse in it. It's the first time we have people come to our show, and I bet you have this too. People come to your show repeatedly, again and again, and you're like, why do you keep coming back to this? A lot of the times it's the same show, and you're like, you're here again and again. Why? And they go, I just want that feeling. I come to get that feeling. And I've never understood that until I went and saw the 1975 at Ascend. And I was driving home. I went and saw him on my own. Nick was out of town. I'm driving home, and my first thought was, oh, I think they're playing Atlanta tomorrow night. I could probably drive. And I went, oh my God, there it is. I'm thinking of driving to Atlanta to see this band. Why? Because I wanted that feeling.
Oh, what a compliment.
Yeah.
And also, you went to a show by yourself?
Yeah.
No way.
Yeah.
You drove yourself?
Yeah.
Where do you park?
I parked in a little spot not too far from us.
Okay.
Parking.
Great. You get a good spot,
Yeah.
and you walk.
Because the concert had started, so I just there was no people weren't around.
You just went by yourself. You
Yeah.
ever go eat by yourself?
Yeah, all the time.
No way. You're not. That can't be true.
All the time.
And you just go in and be like, hello, I'd like to have a table for one.
Yeah. The last 3 days in a row, I've gone out and had lunch on my own.
Are you lonely?
No.
You know what? You just text me, buddy. If you're having a tough day, just be like, hey, I'm
No,
going.
sometimes it's like, it's that moment that I really love. Just a bit of quiet, a bit of, it's good.
A lot of times we'll have a new artist come in and they'll play a song. And for example, Nate Smith's a good example. He played the song about heaven, and we all were like, wow, we kind of had goosebumps hearing that song. And we hear a lot of music and a lot of artists. So we aren't as affected as quick as we used to be because we get exposed to the best all the time. I'd even say Jay did a bit, right? When do you hear a song? I'm going to put you on the spot here. Last time you heard a song where you were like, man, like that emotionally touches me, like the message or the lyric or the vocal or sonically, that touches me. What's done it for you lately?
Oh my goodness. Gosh, a bunch of things. My head's jammed with a whole series of songs right now. Golly gee, I can't think of one right now.
I do like
I
Golly
listen to
G
so
though.
much music.
Golly G
I'm gonna
is
start
good.
saying Golly G because if he's saying it,
Yeah.
I'm going at it. Yeah. When you listen to, do you pursue
What
different?
about Glimpse of Us, Joe G? Do you know that song? It's so beautifully written. It's a beautiful.
By Joe G?
Yeah, Joji.
Oh,
Glim-
Joji?
Yeah, Joji, yeah.
Like a Joji berry? Like a goji berry?
Just Joji. Yeah.
Joji.
Yeah.
Okay, I want to check
Glimpse
it
of
out.
Us. It's a gorgeous song.
Okay.
Break your heart.
There's the answer. Anytime I ask Keith about music, though, I'm like, hey, what about this? It's always like, you ever heard of Experimental Road, track 719? And I'm like, I never
That's
do.
a good name.
And then he'll text me to be like, check this out. And then I'll listen to it. And then like 3 months later, I'll be like, hey, remember Experimental? I've seen them 7 times now, Keith. Thank you very much for sharing that.
Eric Church sends me things like that all the time. Obscure things. He sent me somebody that did a cover of Sounds of Silence the other day.
Like Simon and Garfunkel?
Yeah, but it was this Scottish guy, I think. It's just crazy cover.
You ever hear a cover of your song and you go, man, they crushed that because it's a little different and they've interpreted it a different way?
I haven't heard one recorded. No, I'd like to.
I got one. Here, Ray, play this. This is Somebody Like You, but in Spanish, polka. Go ahead, Ray. No, I'm just kidding. It's not.
Oh, that would have been great. I was so
waiting for
ready
it.
for that.
I don't know. Okay, look, everybody, I want you to go watch Keith. He'll be in Vegas.
I'm going to learn that song in Spanish. And
Zappos
play
Theater,
accordion.
Planet Hollywood Resort and Casino, Friday, March 3rd for 16 dates.
Yeah.
Ticketmaster.com/
Not consecutively, by the way.
Yeah, but
That'd be a long line.
yeah.
Yeah.
What's the longest you've ever been out in a row? Back when you were going? Have you ever done 16 in a row?
Not in a row, but I mean,
Most shows in a year, you think you've done 300?
yeah, I bet.
Really?
I bet coming up, yeah. Because if you throw in radio visits and all of that stuff.
Hate those, don't we? Hate those, don't we?
No,
we hate radio people. We hate radio visits.
You know when you're a new artist and you got to come and do the conference room auditions of despair, as I used to call them? Yeah, those ones. Otherwise known as free pizza.
Yeah, you hate it here. We get it. We get it. There he is. Hey, one final question.
You got good coffee, though. That's good.
Oh, is that our coffee?
Yeah.
You're welcome. A little something we brought in.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's called New Zealand Delight.
It's called Winner's Coffee.
Whatever it is.
Yeah.
I saw a video on TikTok of somebody filming you coming out of a gas station. Did you see that one?
No. Me?
Yeah, you were buying snacks randomly by yourself at a gas station.
See, I told you I go out to lunch on my own.
When you do that, does the cashier ever go, "Hey, Keith Urban"?
Yeah.
Sometimes?
Yeah. The funniest one is they go, "Does anybody ever tell you look like Keith Urban?" I go, "All the time." And they go, "It's crazy. You really do." And then that's the end of the conversation. Yeah.
And then you just let it be.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
They go, "It's uncanny."
Sometimes people will go, I know you from somewhere.
Right.
But then what do you say? Because they're like, you're just so familiar to me. And if I go, could Bobby Bone Show, American Idol.
Yeah.
Mm-mm.
Or this one, and you must get this. Are you who I think you are?
Who am I? I don't know what to do.
I'm barely who I think I am. So
What do you say to that if it's like, I know you from, if someone comes up to you and goes, I know you from somewhere, what do you say?
I don't know. I don't know what I would say in that situation. Probably I get that all the time.
Because you look familiar.
Yeah, I get that a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you the bass player for Casey Musgraves?
Yes.
Yes. That's you?
That's me.
Keith Urban, love him. Go watch him. Best live performer there is. And that's all. Keith Urban, the Las Vegas Residency. March, June, and July, there are 16 shows at Zappos Theater at Planet Hollywood Resort and Casino. Keith, good to see you.
One of those nights we'll have a Spanish version of Somebody Like You.
Spanish?
Polka. Yeah. I'm going to do it.
You're not, but I love.
You know I like a challenge.
Do you speak other languages?
No.
Okay.
Oh, Australian. Yeah.
All right, there he is. Everybody say bye, Keith.
Bye, Keith.
All right, guys. Keith, good to see you. Thank you.
You too.
It's a